Hey guys, it's Oluchi for Ways Breakfast. Thanks for always tuning in. Our research has shown that you're probably not subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you never miss out on our latest content and stay in the loop with all things Ways. If the channel grows, it means more great content for you guys. So hit that subscribe button now.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on Ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, it's our very first episode since the long break. As a matter of fact, the longest break we ever took since we launched Ways in 2019. Yes, I'm happy to be back, and my name remains Osayome Sale, and permit me to wish you all a happy new year. I know I've been missed. Yes, I got a lot of calls, but I'm back and I'm happy. We're excited. All right, so as you can see, I'm alone in the studio because Ways has evolved, and I'm excited about this new season. Of course, our panel, as you know it, the panel of women that always sit on this table, has been dissolved, and on most days, yes, you'll be stuck with me, just me and some great guests to join the conversation. So Ways is all about you. You are the why in Ways. So be a part of the conversation every single day and add your voice to the discussion. Now, remember to subscribe. I mean, your subscription helps us to grow. So remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's at Official Upgrade TV. You can also just hit that subscribe button, like, share, invite your families and friends to join the conversation now. Yes, do it now. Don't wait. All right, so tonight I will be talking about Obasa's impeachment. Of course, the dangers of political ambitions. And here's what my quote for the day is. It says, anybody who has political ambition has an Achilles heel. Now, in case you don't know what an Achilles heel is, right, it's a metaphor for a weakness or a vulnerability that can lead to failure. When I saw this quote, I said, this looks very interesting. But we're talking about Obasa because it was all over the news. There was, just so many news. Yes, I took a break from the news, let me just add, because I was really, I needed to detox myself from Nigerian politics, the issues around Nigeria and all of that. So I actually stayed away, and I didn't know all the events that eventually happened. But hey, I'm happy to be back, and I'm going to be having a guest, a seasoned lawyer, an advocate for good governance, good Nigeria. Liborous Oshoma will be joining me much later. But let me run off on a break right now. When I come back, my friends from EIE will join the conversation. Stay with us. All right, you're still watching Ways now. Every Monday, in partnership with Enough is Enough, we bring consciousness to our roles as citizens. Now, Nigeria's journey towards good governance and accountability is not without its challenges. However, the collective actions of informed and engaged citizens remain the most powerful driver of sustainable change. So as EIE Nigeria reflects on 2024, it is clear that empowering Nigerians to take charge of their civic responsibilities is more critical than ever. Now, the past year demonstrated strengths of collaboration and innovation in addressing pressing governance issues, from amplifying grassroots voices to leveraging technology for citizens' engagement. EIE Nigeria continues to champion initiatives that inspires hope, encourage active participation in governance. Now, these projects included grassroots advocacy through the hashtag MyLGA, technology, new media citizenship, citizen and governance conference, celebrating activism through film, and that was in honor of Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, honoring change makers through the hashtag One Person Initiative, and finally the 14th anniversary of EIE Nigeria. So as we look towards 2025, right, the Senior Programs Associate at EIE, Ufoma Nnamdi Ude, she's joined me tonight to reflect on the past year and, of course, move towards the action as we shape 2025 through civic engagement. Thank you so much, Ufoma, for joining me. Ufoma, are you there?
Sure.
Oh, wow. Are we having... Hi, Ufoma.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How are you?
All
right. I mean, I want to, first of all, applaud Enough is Enough Nigeria. Some really, really amazing initiatives that happened all through the course of 2024. Do you want to quickly just run me through again all the highlights for you, like the high points? What were the ones that really, really stood out for you amongst all the great initiatives that EIE initiated in 2024?
All right, thank you so much. So I think the major things that we did last year was the MyLGA projects. So the MyLGA...
Oh, wow. Sugar, this is where we run away from technology. But I'll just read through some things while we try to get Ufoma back on the call. They were really, really great initiatives from EIE last year. The one she was just talking about, which is the LGA, that's my local government, the hashtag My Local Government Initiative. It expanded its reach to about 6 states. So these states included Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Ondo, and Yobe. So it established an office of the citizen desk. This initiative also equipped local communities with tools to engage with their leaders and demand accountability. Now, the focus on grassroots advocacy reflects, of course, EIA's commitment to strengthening governance at its foundation. As you know, we've always advocated on the show that anything that really wants to happen, the effect must come from that grassroots level, which is the local government level. We cannot effect change if we're not ready to change, the way we interact with our leaders at that grassroots level. But I believe, Ufoma, you're back. Are you back? Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
All right, so go ahead, please.
Okay, so I was talking about my LGA project, which you really just summarized. I think that was one of the most interesting projects that we worked on last year, because it allowed us to get even more closer to citizens, right? We're able to move from Ondo State to Ebonyi, to Anambra, to Abia, to Nasarawa and Yobe State. And one thing that we saw from our different engagements is that people are willing to engage government, and we just need government to also be as willing. So establishing the Office of Citizen Help Desk for us was important because we wanted to bridge the communication gap between citizens and their local government officials. And thankfully, in 2024, we also saw the local government autonomy conversation being brought to the forefront.
Awesome,
so
yes.
It looked as though we were right
it was almost like, yes,
of what was happening in the country.
Yeah, it was like that. And I wanted to ask you, Ufoma.
And to us, it was...
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go land the point, then we'll come back again.
Oh yeah, to us it was like we were a step ahead, because at the end of the day, when local governments receive their political and administrative autonomy, or their financial and administrative autonomy, it's important that there are platforms that exist for them to be able to connect with the citizens that they are elected to represent, and which is really what the Office of the Citizen Help Desk helps to do.
Awesome.
Seeks to do.
So I just wanted to ask you, Ufoma, so as we speak about the hashtag MyLGA initiative, the project, how many states now in total? Because I know that these 6 states were addition to what Enough is Enough had already had. So how many states in total has Enough is Enough established that Office of the Citizen Desk?
All right, so right now we've established it in 5 states. And within these 5 states, we have 30 local governments. So in Abia State, we've done this in 3 local governments. In Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Yobe, Ondo, we've done this in 6 local governments each. Our goal really is to expand. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria, and which is really the next phase that we're in. And more than just expanding to establish this desk in the different local government, we also want to deepen the work that we're doing in the existing states. We want to see the help desk up and running, right? So that we leave it at a point where citizens can now take ownership of it and run with it, whether or not Enough is Enough Nigeria is present in their states.
Awesome. I'm really loving that, because again, this is what we've always advocated about, us getting involved, right? We can't really hope for change if we are not willing to get our hands dirty, right, and do the work that is required. So I'm really even excited about what you had said earlier about the reception of the initiative of the MyLGA initiative, that people were willing, so that is what we are actually looking out for, that participation, that active participation, so it's not just enough for us to say, oh, I have a voter's card or whatever. That we've seen that those things don't really make much of a difference, right? At that point is somewhat, I would say somewhat useless if you are not engaged
late.
Yes, it's late. Yes, if you're not engaged into in the core areas where decisions are being made, that is what's it called, that would impact you directly. So I wanted us to just quickly move on to what are the plans for 2025, because I've seen some really great initiative. Of course, there's still going to be plans to expand more local government areas, like you've rightly mentioned, right? But what other things should we look out for? I know that the Shine Your Eye, what's it called, app, I believe, it's actively running. How are we planning
platform.
The platform, how are we planning to make sure that these things are projected? I mean, we are doing our part on ways. This is why we have this partnership, right? To be able to have these conversations at the front burner of the table. So how do we then expand this?
All right, thank you very much. I think for us this year, we're trying to consolidate. EIA turns 15. As well as Office of Citizen also turns 10. And this means it's been 10 years since we've been running or actively running the campaign for active citizenship under the flagship Office of the Citizen. And so for us, we want to be able to consolidate those efforts. One of the things that we were able to do last year, or we started to do, was to update our Shine Your Eye platform. Our Shine Your Eye is directly linked with our Office of the Citizen chatbot, which gives citizens information at their fingertip, really. You can go in there to find out who represents you and get contact details of your representatives. So we worked closely with the National Assembly to get this information, and which is what we're using to update the platform. Additionally, we also did the Technology New Media Citizens and Governance Conference last year, where we had the former Vice President, Professor Yemi Osibajo, keynotes the event. One thing that TNCG prior to now was usually a biannual conference that was called NMCG. And so last year we upgraded the conference, and we decided we're thinking of taking a different approach, where as opposed to coming every 2 years to just discuss issues, we want to see how we can get some actionable steps. So some discussions that were made between different panelists at the event, we want to now put them into what we would call subcommittees to be able to drive those changes at that level. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we had everybody at the conference. We had government, we had civil society, we had private sector, and we had citizens, and we had the media present as well. So that gives us a good opportunity to get these people in smaller rooms to discuss these issues and begin to implement. And I think that would be an interesting turn for TNCG, where we have the conference 1 year, and then the next year we implement, and then we come again to discuss, and then we just go on from there. That's a trajectory that we're thinking of taking the conference through in 2025, even as we just consolidate what we've been doing Office of the Citizen in Nigeria.
Awesome. So because for want of time, we will need to stop it here. But we have a bigger partnership this year, meaning that we're expanding the time allotted for Enough is Enough. So we would have time to really discuss more, because I love the initiative on how we are also celebrating individuals that are making real impact as well. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
You must be part of that, because again, those are the things that helps to fuel the system and also keep the consciousness in the minds of the upcoming generation, so they see it happening. But thank you so much, Ufoma. I look forward to having you in studio soon. All right.
Thank you, Ostas.
All right. Okay, so
I just wanted to end and say
quickly. Go ahead.
Hi, I just want to end and say a few things. I want to say that another thing that the one person does is that it redefines who we call our heroes in Nigeria. Because at the end of the day, the people that we celebrate as heroes are the ones that people would then start to look up to, right? And so that's what we are trying to do with that. And we hope that, with this platform and other partnerships that we have in 2025, we can redefine who our heroes are in Nigeria and give the future generation more worthy people to be
absolutely
to look up to,
and that is very important. And we look forward to those nomination lists, and we will also review those heroes as well with you. Thank you so much, Ufoma. All right, so before I run off on this break, I want to quickly mention that I found in the news today that the Oyo State High Court had granted bail to the ex-queen of Oni of Ife, Queen Naomi Shilekunola, right? Also, PDP has also expressed confidence, right, as that there's an ongoing election tribunal that is ongoing. So PDP has expressed some confidence that yes, they are happy with what with what is happening in terms of I think they have all their data and their whatever ready. So we'll see how that unfolds. All right, so I'll take a very short break. When I come back from that break, Liborous Oshoma will be joining me, and let's discuss Obasa's impeachment and, of course, the dangers of ambition in politics. Stay with us.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Right. So, thanks for staying with me. Now, Mudashiru Obasa, a lawyer and APC politician, served as Speaker of the Lagos State representing the Agege constituency 1. And despite legislative achievement, his tenure was marred by corruption allegations. Obasa made history by becoming the first person to be elected Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly 3 times, serving from June 8, 2015 until his impeachment on the 13th of January 2025. Now, over the allegations of gross misconduct and abuse of office. Now, throughout his tenure, he faced various corruption allegations, including misappropriation of public funds, which he denied, of course, obviously. So joining me to unpack all of this is a lawyer, Liborous Oshoma, is also an advocate for a great Nigeria and is also a social commentator and a friend of the house. Thank you so much, Liborous Oshoma, for joining me this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back. And I now came back. People now started giving me gbasgbos. People should people should have given me soft landing. But I just looked at this topic. I said, see, there's nobody I want to have this conversation with. The only person I can talk to on this conversation is my Oga at the top. I called you up, and thank you so much for honoring the invitation at short notice. All right, so Liborous, let's dive quickly because we have a lot to unpack here. I have so many questions for you. First of all, what's your overall assessment, right, of Obasa's role as Speaker of Lagos State House? You know, for this period that he led the House, you know, over these 3 terms. What's your overall assessment of him as a speaker?
Yeah, first and foremost, Obasa's becoming speaker wasn't inspiring to a lot of people. Some persons felt he became speaker because he was probably one of the oldest serving members in the House. And so because of the politics of zoning in Lagos State. If you look at the speakers before him, you want to look at Olorunimbe Mamura. You also want to look at Jokotola Pelumi. And then the challenges that, what's his name, Adeyemi Kufuriji had also. And, after that, Obasa becoming speaker wasn't, too inspiring for obvious reasons. Some persons believe for a state like Lagos State, it didn't have that, the debonair and suave, characteristics of the exotic position of speakership in Lagos. And so, if you look at also the laws, made in Lagos State, under his leadership, you wouldn't really, point to, apart from, yes, you had the tenancy laws of Lagos State and a couple of others. They were really nothing, so inspiring about his leadership. And then towards the last administration, this current administration of Sanwo-Olu and immediately after the second term election, we've seen so much bickering and so much arrogance from the side of the speaker. It's almost as if, that attitude of we are here, and then they brought somebody from somewhere who was not in politics with us, even though Sanwo-Olu was a commissioner under, a 2-term commissioner under
Fashola, yeah.
Yeah, so the attitude we had not been respectful of the office of the governor. And then for some of us, that budget presentation was the height of the insolence and the open display of what do you call it, cracks, in the administration of the Lagos State government. And so it was obvious, just like the ones before him, it was obvious that if he's not in the good books of the power that be, then his days were numbered as speaker. So especially given the fact that nothing really inspiring. You can't be a speaker in Lagos State, really do, without having all of these banana peels of allegations, over, hovering around you. Remember Adeyemi Kufuriji, until recently, was a guest of the EFCC, for a very long time.
So, Liborous, let me come back to what you've said, because in all of these things now, that's why I said I have a lot of questions to unpack from this, right? So what are the factors that would have contributed to Obasa's longevity? Because now, if all of a sudden, right, he's been impeached now, is it the fact that the allegations around the misappropriation, the embezzlement, or whatever it is, corrupt allegations and all of that, is that the real cause of this impeachment that has finally happened now? Because if this person had so much controversies around him, and yet he was kept for that, for that long in the House, does it mean that governance wasn't really what was the factor, you understand, that kept him there?
No.
Maybe it was more political loyalty, maybe it was political, humility, or whatever it is that he was exhibiting, and all of a sudden now everything has changed. So, is it because he dared to nurse a political ambition of becoming governor when when he wasn't approved by the so-called powers that be?
No. There's this belief that anybody can become anything in Lagos, It is the same power that keeps you there. There's this belief also that Lagos has been so organized that, you can bring in anybody and the person will fit in. It now depends on how the person, the staying power and the person's, know-how in terms of governance that will keep that person there. Adeyemi Kufuriji was ambitious also, but he wasn't impeached until the end of his tenure. After he wanted to become governor. Remember, he contested second term with the first term of what do you call it? Ambode.
Ambode, yes.
That was when Obasa came in. Yes, Kufuriji contested primaries with Ambode. That was when Obasa came in, and so it wasn't just about ambition. But I will agree with you that usually it is not about governance. It is more about loyalty and the political permutation and zoning. That's what has kept him there. But arrogance, I would say arrogance, took him out. Because if you look at that budget presentation very well and you listen to the speech, of Obasa, it was more like, daring the powers that be. He thought probably that the entire House was with him, but I was shocked and surprised that 32 members would unanimously impeach him. That's about 95% or 98% of the members, excluding him alone. So what that means is that, all the while, he thought, he had the House wrapped in his fingers, but the way he was brought in is the same way others were brought in, and their loyalty. We now know where everybody's loyalty is. So it wasn't not just about ambition, but his arrogance. A situation where during budget presentation, a budget presentation that is an opportunity for Lagos State government to showcase, its potentials, talk about, the gains of government, gains of governance, and the potentials that Lagos holds for, the West African and West African market, the innovations that had been introduced. And then it became a platform for political bickering, talking about his eminently qualification to contest, which nobody's disputing, and how those others that have become governor were not better than him. And then the icing of the cake was the fact that, oh yes, the House of Assembly, it's like a temple. It's a temple, and once the gods of the temple are offended, then the gods must be appeased. You now begin to wonder if really, all of that needed to be said. Yeah, there was no need for all of those, that long speech. No matter the bickering, one would have expected. And so that's open display of arrogance and disrespect for the governor, and then it's also an extension to the leadership of his party at the state level, you know, and the silence from the party. Also, if you are a keen observer of Lagos politics, the silence of the party also will tell you that definitely something is in the kitchen. And with the visit of Mr. President during the Yuletide period, everything would have been discussed and signed, sealed, and delivered. And so while the man was holidaying and cooling off, that's a topic for another day anyway. In faraway America, his colleagues, you know, invoking Section 92 of the Constitution, you know, unanimously, kicked him out.
Liborous, that part is the part that is really shocking to me. You know why? Because now I'm just thinking in my head, really, do we really have any form of power, you know, when we're in certain positions? Because now, I remember that in the 2023 general elections, there was a young man giving Desmond Elliott a run for his money, the Olumide boy that was trying to run for the same, what's it called, constituency in Surulere. I remember that there was because we had him on Waze on one of those occasions and all of that as a guest on the show, and he was talking about his plans and everything for Surulere and all of that. Right after that show, the speaker called me up and was saying, oh, is it my house that boy thinks he's coming? You know, does he even understand what the laws are? Does he whatever? So it kind of gave me this kind of, would I say confidence that the speaker actually had his house put together. But with this one that has happened, that not even one, like literally, that is really scary for me. It means that all these years, really, has he been the person making decisions in that house, or was it just been somebody else? Maybe now he's just decided that I want to do something and take a decision for myself. Maybe that's why this is happening, because this is really scary for me.
No. If you look at politics, really generally, the day you print poster, no matter how politically strong you are in your area,
that's the day you realize.
The day you print posters and say you want to run for elective office, that is the day you know that there's a godfather in that area. So that's the way politics is in Nigeria. You don't just wake up and say, I want to go. You always hear this word. They said, my people said I should come and go. My people said I should run. And so you can be, when in Nigeria they say, when there is a common enemy, that is when you think that everybody is together. The moment that common enemy is gone, that's when you truly know that we are not together.
Yeah.
So if you look at every house, even in the National Assembly, once there are issues of finances, allegations of lack of finances or proper funding for the house, the members seem to stand together. The moment the allegations and more funds were released to the speaker and he undercuts the members, you will see the members will stand together against the speaker. And also, it is only in Lagos, really, because you have the man who dictates in Lagos is different from the seat of power in Lagos. Otherwise, every other state, the governor dictates who becomes the speaker. He dictates who gets what. In some cases, some of the laws that are passed are tabled before the governor over the weekend, before the motions are tabled in the House.
Wow.
So, but Lagos, because of the
structure, the political structure,
Yeah, because of the political structure. So it seems as if everybody you see, it seems as if, they call the shot. Remember when Fashola was governor of Lagos State? At some point, they said Fashola fell out with the powers that be. But because of Fashola's popularity and the fact that, people were openly supporting him, even those people in and out of the party. And then the political structure weighed their option and said, look, you know what? Let us allow this man to be for a second term. And you also remember that decision cost some persons membership, their seat in that same House of Assembly, including the then Speaker, Olorunniyi Mamora, for supporting Fashola. But at the end of the day, they bided their time. And some members, I don't want to mention names, who supported Fashola at that time, it cost them their tickets. So Obasa was given a ticket Obasa won election on the platform of a political party that people have built. So when you hear him talk, my house, it's not as if the house, belonged to him, that is holding everybody together. The house is his house because somebody held everybody together for and on his behalf. And the day he what do you call, jump ship, figuratively speaking, the person who is holding the house together will use those same people that he has held together for him against him. That's basically what has happened here. So it is not just his ambition, even though in politics ambition kills faster than any other thing, not just his ambition, but the arrogance of the ambition. It is the arrogance with which he's, chasing his ambition and the disrespectful nature he's going about it that I believe has cost him all of this. And also, we cannot rule out money, in all of this. Anytime certain actions like this have to be taken, finances will also be a very key consideration.
Somebody has gotten money and has refused to share.
No, the office of the speaker is a very powerful office, especially in Lagos State. There are a lot of perks that, that accrues to that office. Every member is a potential speaker. He's first among equal. It doesn't make him, better than the rest. So every member is a potential speaker. So all of those members that are supporting you, if the position is dangled before them, they will carefully look at it and turn their back on you. So that's why every speaker is usually very careful. Every deputy also is usually very careful because they know that the moment you become too ambitious or you're as arrogant as they come, then, your members, it's just like a coup. Your members can gang up against you at night, and the very next day, come and raise a motion to impeach you. And considering the fact also that Section 92 of the Constitution just simply said to third majority of the members, by resolution, decide to remove the speaker. If the speaker, like what happened, what played out in Cross River State, if the speaker is in the good books of the member, or if it's in the good books of the governor, if it's in the good books of the governor and the members decide to rise against him, the governor can find a way to pacify them. But if the speaker is in the bad books of the governor and you have a few members also who are ambitious and not, whose behavior do not sit well with the speaker, then it will be easy to remove such a speaker because it is just by two-third majority of the House. And so what a sitting governor that is powerful needs to do is to, talk to some members and that's the deal will be done. And definitely there is no way you can sit as a speaker for the whole time without even traveling at all. Even in some cases where you are, you are around, a motion can be moved to investigate you. You're suspended by that motion. The House become rowdy. But since situations where it even degenerates into a fight, and the speaker would
when they start to use mace to chase people and want to hit you with
exactly. It happened in Rivers State.
It has happened
but
before.
Remember, in that case of Rivers State, it was just 5 members against 27
the majority,
members. But in this case, even if you were around, the deal would still have been done. But to honor him, they waited for when he went on holiday and decided to show him the exit door.
All right, so let's go on a very short break, right? When we come back from that break, there's really a lot to unpack because whilst this is happening, history is being made in Lagos State. A first female speaker has been sworn in. So, let's just unpack all of this. Stay with me, we'll be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population and with little or no meaningful engagement leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. Now, I still have with me Liborous Oshoma, and of course, we're discussing Obasa's impeachment and, of course, the dangers of political ambitions. Now, let's hear what you have to say. Join the conversation. You can call us or send us an SMS. No, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. Our phone lines are also now open. You can also call 0702500779 or 07014242420. Those are the numbers to call. All right, Liborous, now, before we went on the break, I said something that whilst all of this is happening, history is being made. We have a young 44-year-old woman, first female speaker ever in the history of Lagos State, Mojisola Miranda, right? That's her name. So tell me,
Yes.
So, I mean, is this not a good thing for us, you know, or
You know, before now,
yeah.
once you have a male as a governor for right from the era of the current president, Tinubu, Ahmed Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he had Akerele Bokno.
Yeah, as a female deputy speaker. Deputy governor, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Fashola had Sarah Shosan,
Yeah.
and then subsequently had what's this other woman's name now that's a special
she's I know her. I forget her name.
Yeah, now. And then Ambode came with Idiat.
Idiat, yes.
Dr.
Idiat.
Idiat. And so this is the first time in that long while, apart from the impeachment of Akerele Bokno, that Lagos State is having a male for a deputy governor. So after the election, there were clamor for a female speaker to give opportunity, you know, since you have the first two, you know, first and second citizens of the state as male, male gender. So that there was clamor for the female to be the speaker. But Obasa had been there long before the current deputy. The current deputy came to the house, you know, in 2015. Also, at the same time, Obasa became speaker. So it would have been a good idea to make, you know, her speaker while you have Obasa, who is, you know, older in terms of ranking House member. So if what's the name of this lady from Ilukpeju, the light-skinned lady, if she were still, you know, she contested speakership with Obasa.
Yeah, I remember her.
Still in the house. If she were still in the house, she probably would have been the speaker at that time. But like they say, when it's your turn, it's your turn. And so now you have the first female speaker in Lagos State. You had two female deputies. Now it's the turn of, and so this is what a lot of people had actually wished for in 2019 when the administration of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, you know, came on board. A lot of people had felt that it was time to also have a female speaker. But maybe Lagos wasn't ready at that time. And now you have a female who's not ambitious. She's not interested in becoming governor. So she will focus on the
doing
fact that
her.
she's also making,
Go ahead.
She's not politically arrogant. She's not interested. She's not fighting with anybody. She's not fighting politics with anybody. Not dragging any position with anybody. So she would want to make history as, you know, the first. She would want to make history not just as the first female speaker, but she would want to write her name in gold in the sand of time, taking into cognizance the welfare of her colleagues.
But Liborous, I wanted to quickly ask, right? Yes, I like the idea that she's female, she's everything, but you know, this is also one of the things that we also are upset about, that let's not just put female because she's female. How well do you know her in terms of her competency? Because I mean, managing the house as a speaker is a lot of work, right? So what?
Yeah, she's been deputy speaker. She's the current deputy speaker.
I know.
Today.
But you know the roles. But you know But Liborous, you know that the roles of deputies in Nigeria it's questionable. Not many deputies are able to do anything.
Yeah, if you have a larger than life boss or a larger than life head, like you know. The image that Obasa had painted in the house, certainly she would be relegated somehow. But having been a third-term House member, she definitely will be coming with a lot of experience. She's been in the House since 2015, and that's 12 years. So the experience that comes with that you can't take that away from her. So she understands her members. She's known them. You know, she's done 2 terms. She's on her 3rd right now. So certainly, what any man, that the kind of experience that any man of her status, of her ranking, would have garnered, certainly she also would have garnered.
Okay. All right.
And the thing that will work for her also, it's not just the fact that, she's
female,
a ranking member of the House. The thing that will work for her, apart from the fact that she's a female, she's not ambitious. She's not looking for governorship. So there are no distractions. So there are no distractions.
But Liborous,
in as far as running to 2027 is concerned. Also, because of the banana peel, because of the crisis, that's sad relationship between the executive and the legislature. Now, our job is cut out for her. It's going to be very easy. It doesn't mean that she would end up being, an errand, an appendage to the executive. But she'll find a way to mend that relationship and that, create a synergy and robust relationship between the executive and the legislature. At the end of the day, it will be better. It will be a win-win for her and the House. So, like I said, in Lagos State, the structure had been so organized that, all you take is for just a little savviness, a little open-mindedness, and you fit in and write swiftly. The roads have been, to a very large extent, paved.
Okay, so let's be hopeful that, she does, because you see, I don't think Obasa started off ambitious. He was quite, well, I don't want to put the word out there, but you know how he started, right? All of these things just started happening in recent times. But let me quickly ask you,
Quickly, sorry, what? The crisis here is, everybody, we all start humble. We all start humble. It takes only, humility for somebody to have that kind of power and remain humble. Look at Fashola, for example. Fashola's first term, despite all of the shades that were thrown at him, he remained humbled all through. Look at Sanwo-Olu. In the last election, you would think that after winning the 2nd term, Sanwo-Olu will, wear the toga of somebody who will step on toes, and he's still very humble. Sometimes you wonder, is this really the governor of Lagos State? The humility is innate. And then secondly, also, you saw Ambode. You can't compare Fashola, Sanwo-Olu and Ambode. A lot of people complain about Ambode's arrogance when he became governor, and that cost him his 2nd term. So if Budashiru Obasa started, from a humble background, he became speaker. But it's like the long period that he became speaker, got into him, and he decided to,
they say,
cut ties.
They say
cut
power
ties with those people he met there.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that the person that is taking over from him now became a member when he was sworn in as speaker.
Yeah.
So if the new speaker remains humble and creates that bridge, that synergy between her, the executive, and the political structure in the state, I don't see why, she won't even stay longer than Obasa has stayed.
Let's be hopeful. But what do you think are the long-term consequences of impeachments, especially with what has happened in Lagos State, on Lagos State politics? Do you think this will help politicians to be a bit more guarded, or what do you think? Would it breed more loyalty or disloyalty? What do you think the long-term consequences will be quickly, so that I can now ask another question?
Politics in Nigeria, there is nothing like loyalty. There's nothing like 100% loyalty. People are loyal to a cause. The moment that cause is removed, that's when you see how naked these people are. And the consequences, it depends on the individuals, really. Some people will say, well, it is APC family affair. One day they will still reconcile. All of them will still come together. Some persons were removed and they never got back. Some were removed and somehow, they came back, became humble, and, got back. Even Ambode, you remember, Ambode, its arrogance cost him his second term. But today, I learned that some persons are taunting Ambode to come back as the governor for 2027. So, you never can tell if the Mudashiru Obasa retraced his step and goes back to Dobale for Obasope. You never can tell. Tomorrow he might just be compensated with something even bigger.
It's okay. Is it a birthright that we're compensating people?
There are no permanent enemy. There
are no permanent friends. Yeah, I think the name we were trying to remember was on Honorable Fumilayo Tejuosho. I remember her. Yes, she's the one. So quickly, Liborous, as we try to wrap up this conversation. I mean, by the way, we've been really having a great conversation. I like your take on things like that. I'm hoping she stays humble, but you see, let me say, the power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it depends on how much power that she starts to see. But what do you think should be the lessons politicians should learn from some of these things? I've heard you talk about staying humble, but in the end, if they could help me put back my quote for today, right? The quote was, can you help me? Yeah, it says, anybody who has political ambition has an Achilles heel. Now, this is really worrisome for me. Does it mean that politicians are not allowed to nurse ambition for bigger things? Because it is the same ambition that your president had of becoming president, that he's now a sitting president, right? So I'm saying that, is it that this ambition has to be for a selected few people, right? Or is it that there's no dream for me to do something bigger? I just keep on, whatever they say I should do, I do. Then how do we even have a healthy system where people that have real intentions say, okay, you know what, I think I have stayed long enough on this place. I want to move to a new place. So how do you expect? So the lesson is, first of all, lessons learned from this. Then how should politicians approach their ambition, right? I mean, it shouldn't stop them from having an ambition. But how should they approach it in a way that, yes, things don't collapse on them?
The first thing is, you can have ambition, but the first thing is, know that power is transient. Secondly, know that in politics, there are no friends, there are no enemies. The office you occupy, a lot of people are friends to the office that you occupy, not necessarily your friends. So when push comes to shove, some of these people might abandon you, and jump ship. Thirdly, which is very key, which is the question you asked. Yes, you can be ambitious, but because there are no permanent friends and no permanent enemies, just like a gambler, know what to throw away and know what to keep. And you don't count your money when you are still at the table, because there's enough time to count it when the deed is done. And I will give you an example with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was ambitious, but he took his time. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for a long time, had always wanted to be president. But he took his time. He bidded, he cut friendship across board. Even the moment he became ambitious, Even the former president, we saw the body language of the former president. It was obvious that the party was not with him. But because he had created friends across divide, including people who ordinarily he would not relate with. Let me give you the example of El-Rufai. Before the politics of 2023, El-Rufai would throw shade at the Godfather in Lagos. And they said the Godfather in Lagos. And he got to Lagos, there was nothing fantastic about Lagos. But with politics of 2023, you saw how El-Rufai stood solidly behind him. And it was like, oh, these people are having a rosy relationship. But where is the El-Rufai today? So there are laws of power that politicians must study. So when you have ambition, if you cannot beat them, you join them. And then you manage your enemies until you get to the top. You don't know who to push out and who to retain.
Okay.
Not in the wilderness of power, in the wilderness of struggle. Already you are kicking heads and kicking butts, and you think everybody would remain with your ambition. And then you learn to don't outshine your master. Have the ambitions and want to outshine your master when you have not been given the mantle. They will tell you that, look, if you get there, that means you will kill everybody, which was what Abode was trying to do, which was what you saw Budashiro Obasa also was trying to do. Ask a lot of analysts, about 95% of analysts will tell you that it is not just his ambition, but it was arrogance that cost him all of these things. So you want to be governor. You desperately need it. If you don't have the financial muscle, you don't have the financial and the human capital muscle to wrestle it, then you stay humble. You stay humble because the seat you're occupying is transferred. People gave it to you, and they can take it away, especially in Lagos. No matter, the political offices are like tenured monarch.
Yeah.
It will come to an end someday. Look, I take our state, Edo State, for example. When Governor Obasa was calling the shots, even the people that were trembling, before him, today no longer see him as anything. Why do you think a man becomes a governor? He leaves governor, he wants to go and become senator. From senator, he wants to become House of Rep. He wants to come back as commissioner because he wants to consistently remain relevant. So that those friends to this office will remain with him.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Liborous. We've had an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for your time this evening. Unfortunately, that's where I have to leave it. Now, before I go and show, you subscribe to our YouTube channels and official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further. Please like, share, invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. If you missed my quote for the day, it says, anybody who has political ambition has an Achilles heel. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Now, enjoy the rest of your evening. Ciao.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.